The A3 service indicator has been on for months, and I keep thinking that maybe my wife might make an appointment, have the car taken in, have someone else do it, but obviously that's not happening. I looked, and the A service is just really just an oil change. The car isn't under warranty anymore, so I guess it's as good a time as any to start doing all the work myself. This is what it looks like under here. You can see there's sort of a rudimentary engine cover, and I see a plug here, but that's probably the transmission. Now, I've drained that on my Audi by accident once. I think the oil plug is probably right in here. So I'm going to take this plastic pan off, which just has a couple of small, I don't know, probably 6 or 8 millimeter, 3 of them bolts. So let me get those off. And so those are 8 millimeter. All right, and under there, oh, what do we have? Okay, so this is going to be your oil pan right here. I'm reasonably sure. You'll find out pretty quick if it's not. So I'm going to pull that bolt out right there and drain the oil, I hope. Alright, I got a couple of long extensions so I can reach way in there. I'm going to just pop this, hopefully, I'm going to do it slowly so that I can see, make sure that it's engine oil that's coming out, and I'm just going to let the drain plug fall into the oil, and I'll fish it out of there later with a magnet. Yeah, this is like a huge pet peeve of mine. There's a ton of torque on this thing. There's no reason for it. You'd think, you know, no one's ever worked on this but the factory. And you would think they would put, I can't even get it off. I mean, this is stupid. Shouldn't be that hard. Oh, for God's sakes. Okay. So, you know, that's like 100 pounds of force, which is just totally not necessary. Okay, let's see what comes out of here now. I'll check the torque spec, but I assume that's not necessary. Okay, let's see if we can get engine oil to run out of here and not transmission fluid. So, should be black. Yeah, that's definitely engine oil. All right. Let this sucker fall out. Hey, look at that. I captured the plug on the end of the thing along with the washer, which you should always replace, but I'm not going to. Okay, here's a little pro tip for you. Make sure you save your old detergent bottles. So I'm going to knock this onto the ground. Because you're going to want to use them to put your used oil into. So I can fill them into here, and then in here in Minnesota they have to take my used oil. So I'll take that off to the auto parts store when I buy my new oil, drop off the old oil, and then I don't have it sitting around. That has drained well enough. I can put the plug back in. The filters actually you access from the top, so I can put the car back down once I get this plug back in. I looked up the specs, and it's not, as the Mercedes dealer must have thought, 120, but it's 37 foot-pounds. So that is what I'm going to torque it to, is 37. So that's not very much at all. It's pretty filthy in here. Not my car. Boy, I tell ya. Anyways, The filter on this is back here in this corner, so it's that plastic thing down there with the plastic nut looking thing on the top of it. Alright, so that is a 28 millimeter, and I should be able to just put a regular extension, and should not be tight, but who knows, you know. Let's see. Two hands. Well, so Christ, this piece of plastic is so tight that I had to really struggle with a big wrench, it's still not off, to get it off. Again, this is just supposed to be barely hand tight. Ridiculous. How many of these things they break? I got that loose. Aww. Now, I gotta find the frickin' socket. Dang it. That's something you don't want to do. There it is. And the other thing you don't want to do is leave your tools here, because then you go to shut your hood and you smash the hood in the process. So don't do that. Alright, let's take this off and see what we got. Hopefully it's not going to get oil all over the place. So it's going to come out along with the filter, which is, wow, it's just this tiny, tiny little thing here. Boy, I'm surprised. Well, okay, let me pull that off. Okay, so this should just slide off like that. I don't know if this piece here, that's probably part of it. Okay, so I got my parts. That was only $100. 0W40 Mobile 1, and oh, my lights went off. Should turn that on. What you want to look for is this thing, Mercedes-Benz 229.5. That is supposed to be on your oil. So I got the right stuff, I guess. It may or may not matter, but why get the wrong stuff? This is the filter, and Wix, as I recall from my Audi S4, was the maker of the OEM filters, and as you can see, it looks identical. I'm sure it was made in the same factory as the Mercedes one, although it doesn't say Mercedes on it. This was $20 at O'Reilly. It wasn't. They didn't have it at the other place. There's some gaskets in here, and I frankly am not sure where all of them go. I know where some of them go, and I'll show you that. Okay, now I see. So there's an O-ring here, there's an O-ring here, and there's an O-ring here. So that matches up with these three. I can't really do it with one hand, and I think you can figure it out. You just pry it, you just pull this off with a screwdriver, and we're going to replace the three of those. No, that took longer than it should have been. I had to use a pick to work these things off, and now the mosquitoes have come out and they're eating me alive. Okay, when you put the new filter on, this rubber gasket goes up, and so we're going to just push that in, and it'll click in there like that. Now we can just screw that back in. From what I found, I think the torque spec for that plastic thing in there is 19 foot-pounds or 25 newton meters. Those should be the same, which I don't have a wrench that goes down that low that fits my bigger socket, so I just had to sort of imagine I was lifting 20 pounds at the end of a foot-long wrench. It's not very much. Just check it, make sure it's not leaking later. That's the main thing. So now I'm just going to fill it up, put 5.8 quarts, or I'm sorry, 5.8 liters is supposed to be the capacity here. Usually these bottles is 4.73, so it's going to be all of this bottle and then another liter. Now that you change your oil, you're going to want to get rid of that service message, and I think this is how you do it. So just go from the basic screen, turn the accessory on, and then you're going to push the phone button and the OK button at the same time for a few seconds. Let me see if I can hold the camera up here and push these. Okay, and you get into this mystery screen. Vehicle data, dynamom test, pad replacement. Those all look exciting. I don't know what they do. We'll check those out in a bit. But go down to this, I don't know why they spell it that way, but go to that, push that. Service data, we're going to do full service. All right. Okay, and we'll get to this screen. Then we're going to go down to confirm full service. Push that. Say what kind of oil grade. Now I used the 229.5. Push that. Oil grade, service carried out. Yes, it was carried out. And we're going to confirm that. Full service could not be carried out. Why not? Alright, so these are the other, I went back and now it tells me there's 365 days and 10,000 miles left. This is the oil data record. Let's see what happens when we start it. Alright, so it did clear it? I don't know. Well, I cleared it. I don't know what I did exactly. I'm not probably the one that should ask. What do I know? I don't know. I did it, but I'm not sure what all those other things are. Well, let's just see what else is in there. Vehicle data. What happens if we push that? Okay, this is just voltage and a bunch of other stuff. Oh, okay, drucken für Abdaten. Okay, no, probably not. Oh my God. Fuel level sensor. Boy, there's a lot of stuff in here. Okay, I'm gonna go back because I want to see what is this. I don't know. Probably shouldn't do it though. Okay. Alright, enough screwing around. I'll probably break it. Okay, I reset it. I don't really know what I'm doing, but that's how I did it, and it seems to have worked. Alright, we're going to go back up, check the dipstick level one last time, make sure that we're in the right range. I'm going to let it sit overnight and look underneath it, make sure there's no leakage, and then I'll check it again in a couple days, make sure that it's not leaking and that my oil level is still proper. And that is how to change the oil in your GLA.